Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course where we do encourage you to call in and to join in. Today, it is a Friday morning version of the show. It will be a get 'em up out of town version of the show. We're going to let you to come on in and set the agenda around here. We're going to do a quick segment with Dr. Angelo Mitsos. We keep giving you Beresha updates. We've launched. You keep hearing us talk about Beresha. You got to really give them a try. It's a go-to drink that has some properties. We'll get into this morning that there really aren't any other drinks out there that does this. There's a coffee, there's a tea, there's a lemonade, and a sweetener if you need it, every one of which is thermogenic, and, well, we'll get into what that means with Dr. Angelo Mitsos. This morning we'll do that opening segment with him. If you got a question about Beresha, a lot of you are enrolling, and I'm really happy to see that. There's this thing about be free with 3. I'm going to ask them to describe what that means today. Get your own stuff free is a pretty interesting way to go, and as well as how to join and just participate in the Beresha experience. You'll be happy you did. The drinks you're using now, unless you're using, well, if you're using water, you're fine. No harm will come to you, but no benefit either. And but if you're using anything else other than water, you are actually more than likely hurting the possibilities of you getting control of your weight issues as well as your carbohydrate issues. We'll get into that this morning too. A Beresha update then, and then we'll cut to allow you to take over the rest of the show. Now, you know how to do it. You give us a call at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. Anything on your mind is okay with me. We'll give that number additionally throughout the hour. Now, we're going to go to our good friend, Dr. Angelo Mitsos, right out of the chute here this morning. He's our guy. He really introduced me to the Beresha line. He's always in the background helping me out as I introduce others to it, and he's very quick to help. He's usually available to us on a Friday morning just for a short period of time. We're going to bring him aboard right now and say good morning and welcome back, Dr. Angelo.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Courtney. It's good to be back.
Hey, you're up there in sunny Newcastle. We're down here in dismal Pittsburgh. But look, you spread a ray of sunshine all through our area here by bringing the Beresha message, the Beresha line, the wonderful drinks that they have. And as I'm trying to do, just giving our listeners an update of what's happening out there in Beresha land. You're my go-to person when it comes to that. So what's new on the Beresha front that we need to hear about?
Well, Dr. Courtney, we want to thank you for, you kind of are the leader here. You launched the whole Beresha Brigade by opening up your beautiful office last week. And I can tell you Beresha's on the move. Beresha is growing. And we're announcing now officially, and Dr. Lori Lankowitz was on your show Wednesday. It was very interesting listening to her. And yes, the next Beresha free tasting where people can experience these delicious products will take place next Wednesday. That's August 27th at 6 p.m. at her Mars office, which is located at 158 Brickyard Road. That is Suite 400, 158 Brickyard Road, Suite 400 in Mars, Pennsylvania. People need directions. They can look at the website, balanceforwellness.com, balanceforwellness.com, or call the office at 724-687-0733. So anybody that's up there in the North Hills, the Cranberry, Wexford, Mars, even the Butler areas, would love to have you and experience the Barisha products.
Yeah, you need to get out there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to see that you people up in the north are having the opportunity to get something a little local there. Dr. Lori Lankowitz was on our show on Wednesday. She's very excited about the product line. She was at our original testing last Wednesday here, and she was already all in before that thing ever even happened. She's got so excited about this stuff. But she's giving you the opportunity to try those drinks, the coffee, the tea, lemonade. There's a sweetener also if you feel you have to sweeten something up. Make it sweet, make it tart, but make it your go-to work of art. That's the way I'm saying it, folks. Doctor it up, because the 4 benefits that you get with this Barisha product, you get with nothing else. And we should probably talk about what is it about these Barisha, besides just tasting good. And I have all sorts of input after we were at 25 to 30 people last Wednesday. Everybody had a different experience. Some said, oh, I'd make this a little more sweet, a little more tart. It looks like this is just individuality. I think you need to take the drink, doctor it up if you got to do it, but make it work for you so you have a go-to drink to do some pretty amazing things. Now, what do these Barisha products do? And I got a feeling none others do, and I know none others do. What happens with Barisha products that doesn't happen to anybody else?
Well, it's very exciting, Dr. Courtney. First of all, they're thermogenic. Thermogenic meaning that we are now able to burn fat even without exercise. So somebody can have their coffee first thing in the morning, the organic coffee, and literally burn fat while even sitting in a chair. They're low glycemic with a low glycemic load. And this is very important with this obesity and type 2 diabetes epidemic, where we're able to balance our blood sugar. So that creates the next benefit, which means that we're not going to be constantly hungry. What I have found out personally and through my practice, people that are consuming high glycemic products that have so much processed food and so many of these artificial sweeteners are creating a much higher insulin response. And this not only is putting on more pounds, but it's making us hungry. And that's a very vicious cycle. It's very difficult to get out of, where we're constantly hungry and constantly snacking. And, of course, the other benefit, which is related to what I just said, is that there isn't this cephalic response, which is kind of a new thing. But if people do the research, medical science is now showing that contrary to what we've thought over the last 30 years, just the branding of the term diet was supposed to be a major benefit. But contrary to that, what we're finding is that these artificial sweeteners, and there's a scale for sweetness, can be up to 100 times sweeter than regular sugar. And even though they have 0 calories, 0 carbs, it still creates this dramatic insulin release, which is going to cause more storing of fat. You know, sugar existed before 1980 when this epidemic began. The problem is now we have this proliferation of artificial sweeteners, which are much more problematic.
I know most folks think, well, look, I already have a diet drink and I really like it, and so I drink, and then you can just fill in the blank after that. But unfortunately, those are artificial sweeteners, and the sweetness alone, which you think that 0 carbs and 0 calories, how in the heck could that be bad for you? But actually, you get an insulin gush, you get a hormonal response due to the sweetness taste alone, which completely cancels out what you thought you were doing the thing for. You were trying to, keep yourself even keeled with whatever dietetic concerns or carbohydrate concerns. You just blew the whole ball game by taking a sip of that drink, and I think that's, to me, one of the main components of the Barisha line. They blunt that cephalic response. There's a tartness to these drinks that cuts that off so it doesn't occur. I think that probably of all the things that it does, I rank that very high, because people are getting a false sense of security with the others in Barisha. Well, The scientists went about it. I guess they were given a job to do, and they came back and they did a fantastic job putting this together, these products together. We even had the scientists on our show to back that up, and so I know it's accurate. I know if you can take it to the bank because the scientists said so, and there's a lot on the line for them. They couldn't lie about it. So yeah, Beresha is absolutely got some advantages that none others do. They're also, and I think maybe just a word about this, they have something called a 7-to-7 plan, which for those out there who think they can take this on their own, and there are many of you who can, you can take charge of your own particular weight issues and carbohydrate issues because Beresha will help you. Talk about for a moment how it is that Beresha will do that.
Well, the 7-to-7 is a comprehensive, holistic approach. It's a roadmap. It's educational information. People that are ordering the products will get the 7-to-7 comprehensive weight loss program, which takes the best of the best out there of new cutting-edge information and incorporating into our lifestyle, because this has to be a lifestyle that's going to be mapped out over the next year, and it'll come in step-by-step format. And we know, for example, it's important to drink 7 glasses of water a day, try not to eat after 7 p.m., and have that 7 hours of sleep. So information that's cutting edge, that will be incorporated into somebody's lifestyle. But the catalyst, which is step number 1, there's 7 steps, but step number 1, the catalyst are these products, because we have to have immediate success and be rewarded for our efforts. And, somebody, for example, they cannot exercise, they can still benefit. They can still benefit by starting with the products, getting immediate success, immediate results, and then move forward. But, the 7-to-7 is brand new, and we're getting that information as we speak, Doctor.
I know it keeps coming to us in dribbles, but the listener needs to know there is a plan out there that when they get involved with Beresha, that plan literally gets dumped in their laps. It comes part and parcel to their participation with Beresha. They get that for free, and if they can handle these on their own, and many people can, the plan will be given to you. You can follow it, follow the bouncing balls, they usually say, to get the success that you're looking for in 7 weeks. Everything's 7. 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 hours. It's a play on 7. 7-to-7 is the name of the program. We'll continue to talk more about it as this thing gets dribbled out. Now, when it comes to the Beresha and how you get involved, I wanted you to take just a moment, because I keep seeing, and a patient of mine brought this to my attention. She has a very, very large family. She was in there the other day signing herself up, and she started talking about this 3 program, Be Free with 3. I didn't hear of it before. I didn't know anything she was talking about. Here it is. I see it on the website. What does that mean, Be Free with 3?
Well, it's a promotion whereby if somebody that wants to use the products, simply by referring 3 friends or family or contacts, associates, if those 3 referrals start using the Beresha products on a monthly, regular basis, then the person that referred gets their monthly supply for free. It's just a very powerful tool in referral marketing, because we know that Beresha could spend millions of dollars on traditional advertising or try to put it on the shelf. But rather than do that, what we have found, this requires a little bit of education, and that face-to-face friendly contact, talking to people that know us, like us, and trust us, is very, very powerful. And that method is being used more and more by top corporations throughout the world.
So if I'm just putting myself in the place of a listener right now, if I try these products and I like them, and I have like a nephew, I have an aunt, and I get each one of them involved. I get 3 more people involved. You mean my monthly supply of these Beresha products continues to come to me free?
That's right. As long as they stay on the products month after month, you don't have to do anything else.
Well, now, there you go. See, the patient knew so much about this. I didn't. Here I find it today, and you've cleared it up, maybe that will titillate those out there who are worried about, geez, these products aren't the least expensive available, but they're so different. They're actually worth whatever you're paying for them, and it's still discounted. But to get them for free, if you involve three others, and I think, hey, have some people over the house, have your family members over the house. I got a feeling that what we saw happen here last week can happen right there in your own dining room, your own living room, and heck, before they get out the door to go home, they're going to want to become involved, and I'll bet you they're going to look for three. This thing can be catchy, right? I mean, I find three, and then each one of those find three. Pretty soon, a whole bunch of people are involved with Berisha, and a lot of folks are getting their products for free every month. I like that concept.
It's beautiful, Doc. The current day terminology is going viral, I guess, going viral. But no, it's very exciting, and we have the opportunity to really help a lot of people in this way.
Should tell you, if you want to become involved with this now, tastings are wonderful. There's Dr. Lori Langwood's going to have her free tasting up there at 6 o'clock in her office in Mars at 158 Brickyard Road. So feel free to go on over there and sample all the products and find that you're in love with them too. And you can get involved by going to my website at all my products that I endorse. I put on the Pittsburgh Eye Protocol website. So you go to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com, and on the opening page on the top bar, there's an icon marked products. Click on it, and then you'll see where it says Berisha International. Click on it, and there you are. And then I guess you got to go to the point in the upper right-hand corner. As I found out, it looks like a little block. It's got horizontal lines in it. Click on it, and a menu comes up. You want to go to Opportunity and click on it, and just follow the steps from that point on, and you'll be pretty much done in no time and be getting your products. Hopefully, as you sign up others, be free with three. I like that concept, but you can take care of it right now, no matter where you are, just by going to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com and follow those prompts, and up and away you are. All right, Dr. Mitsos, anything else you want to report to me about the Berisha line today?
No, Doc, we're in good shape, and I would just say that Berisha is coming to a town near you, and we're going to keep people informed about that.
More on this matter as more come aboard. Actually, I got your email, and you're going to be working on another person. Johnstown, you're in store for your own tasting out there. More on that as that solidifies, but this thing is growing pretty fast, folks. It all started here with our own particular entrance into the program, thanks to Dr. Angela Mitsos. Thank you so much, Angela, for coming aboard today. Enjoy yourself. I'll talk to you this weekend.
Thank you, Doc.
There you have it. Dr. Angela Mitsos, a podiatrist from up there in Newcastle, who's been active with the company for a number of years now. And, boy, I was lucky enough that I had a chance to meet him, and I really enjoyed bringing the product line, the Berisha line, to you. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We switch gears now. We're in the open phone mode. You can come on in here and set the agenda as you see it. You do so by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. Be right back in a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Friday morning version of the show, and as we normally like to do, it is now become a get 'em up out of town version of the show. We encourage you to come on in and set the agenda as you see it. You do so by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I listen for a knock on the door, and I'll let you in the store. Speaking of that, I just heard a knock. Why don't you come on in the store? Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Hello.
Hello.
About a year ago, you had a gentleman on talking about a product of removing biofilm from counters and using in a hospital for MRSA.
Okay.
Would you or your audience remember, what the product could be?
Was it a spray-on product that you used to clean up?
With gallons. I remember putting up on a computer, but then I thought about it.
Well, tell you what, right offhand, I remember the product. I remember talking about biofilm, but for the life of me, I'm just not going to be able to come up at this moment with the name of the product. You know what will happen, though? One of my listeners is going to call up and going to say, oh, I know that, and just keep listening, and you can't believe how well that works. Just hang in there. One of my listeners will be calling up shortly, and they'll let you know what the product is. Be ready to write, okay?
Okay.
Great question. We'll help you out. My listeners remember everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
Absolutely. Yeah, folks. Watch how this works. Just give her a few moments. Here we are. We say, "Okay, come on in and set the agenda by dialing us up at 412-825-6262." We got another knock on the door. Come on, the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Doctor.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
I'm well. How can I help you?
A friend of mine has floaters in his eyes. He's had them for some time. They're becoming obstructive now to his vision. What would you say would be a good plan for him?
Well, first of all, this comes up an awful lot, and when it first came up, I really didn't know how to answer it. But my go-to person when it comes to all things eyes is our good friend Dr. Edward Conrad, an ophthalmologist, and certainly when asked the question, he did not hesitate. He claims that whenever you have these floaters, what you're experiencing is heavy metal toxicities playing themselves out over the lens and the retina of the eye.
Wow.
And so what we would recommend, what he recommended then, and what we continue to do in multiple occasions, is we get heavy metal testing to find out what the metals are so that we can set about to remove those metals. And it's worked like a charm so far, so it's an easy question for me to answer because it's been asked so many times, and we've had the input of an ophthalmologist, and he's been very successful at using the heavy metal approach. So have we. Please pass that on. Now, you're going to have to get some sophisticated testing for your friend. You're not going to be able to use some blood test. It's going to have to be a provocation test where you actually give a chelating agent to pull metals from tissue into the blood. And then what happens is the blood cycles through the kidneys, and the offensive agents come out in the urine, which gets analyzed. As long as you're doing it that way, you will get the representative metals, and you will be given very sharp clues as to what chelating agents then the doctor can pick from to make those metals go away, and in the process, the floaters too. Okay?
Yes. Could I ask one more question?
Sure.
The same person has asthma. Could you direct him in a way that he could care for his asthma?
Well, when, of course, asthma is involved, this is a reactive airway,
Okay.
and there's one of three things responsible for that reaction, whether it's something that the individual inhales, which is probably the most frequent trigger, okay?
Okay.
Or something that the person eats, because food can cause these airways to react. Or
Okay.
some people get exposed to chemicals. Those are the three most common sources of the triggering agent. Now, we have to shut the immune system down so it won't trigger these violent reactions in the bronchial tree. There's a unique therapy. We've talked about it many times here. If you're familiar with something called LDA, if you heard me talk about it before.
Yes, I have. It's wonderful. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Please, my recommendation for anybody out there just maybe hearing about it for the first time is you want to go to the website of the godfather of LDA. LDA stands, of course, for low-dose antigen. And the gentleman who put this all together for us is named Dr. William Butch Schrader. His office is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but his website is the best website I've ever found for the written word on what LDA is all about. You just go to drschrader.com. That's Dr. DR without the period afterwards. Dr. Schrader, SHRADER.com. And there you'll find as good an explanation as I think possible on what LDA is all about. I usually have patients read on about LDA ahead of time if we know we're going to be talking about that. And then there's one other thing that you can help your friend with, and that is in November of 2012, we made that LDA month. It was sort of our launching of the LDA program that we've been doing now for 2 years. And as such, every Friday in the month of November, we had another guest talking about LDA. They were experts. And the first week, November 2nd, 2012, was the godfather himself, Dr. William Butch Schrader. I always encourage patients to go to my website at djcmd.com, djcmd.com. On the opening page, click on the icon marked Archives, and then scroll. All my radio shows come up. Scroll to November 2012. Between the written word at Dr. Schrader's site and the spoken word with the shows we did, you'll know more about LDA than I do, and then that's time to come on and talk about it.
Wonderful.
Okay?
That's so wonderful. Thank you so
Perfect, perfect. Enjoy reading and listening, and hope to see you soon.
Yes. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yeah, very good. To be able to help when it comes to reactive airways, or how about this? I had a gentleman in the office yesterday. Seasonal allergies. We're going into that second season. You know, spring usually the first of the two seasons is bad enough. Then things sort of quiet down. This gentleman told me things didn't even quiet down for him. He can't even remember when the first phase began and the second phase began, because now we're truly in the second phase. And it's going to go through the month of September. We won't hit October until pretty much these inhaled allergens get cleared from our air. And whenever you get somebody in the throes of having this response, we really can't use LDA in the middle of that allergy season. But as I told him, and as I tell any of you listening to me today, if you're going through your seasonal allergy ritual and it's starting to bug you, and your breathing is being affected every day, you're going to have to fight through this with the, antihistaminic reactive treatments. But when October rolls around and this particular season is over with, that's when LDA can step in. And usually before the next season hits, next spring, we'll have it knocked out with LDA, low dose antigen. Hey, we got another knock on the door. Come on the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Jeez. Sorry, missed you. Please give us a call back. The number to do that, 412-825-6262. Let me in a moment here, while we're waiting for the next knock on the door, let's sort of go over the up-and-coming events around here. On Monday, I think in keeping with what we were talking about a little bit ago with Dr. Angelo Mitzos with the Berisha line, people that want to take control of their weight issues and their carbohydrate issues tend to fall into two different camps. One camp, very comfortable with doing this on their own, look forward to being able to handle this on their own, and for that reason I said this 7 to 7 program, which is tailor-made for that kind of person that can do this without involving anybody else. Just, they say, give me a map, I'll follow it. I think the Berisha line will provide you with that map with the 7 to 7 program. Now there's another group of people, the other camp, that really need some help. They need some guidance. They need some coaching. They need somebody that continually inform them on what to do, and then sort of keep a little look over the shoulder to allow them to be guided along and keep them on a straight and narrow path. Now that particular style of individual, look forward to our Monday show. On Monday morning, we're going to do our launch show on what's called TLS, the TLS program. TLS literally stands for Transition of Lifestyles and Systems, and we're going to be having a new program that the first episode installment is going to be on September 27th. It's going to be a Saturday morning. It's going to be 9 o'clock on Saturday, and for 10 Saturdays in a row, we're going to have you coached all the way through those 10 to, after you've set your goals, whatever they may be, assure that you arrive and reach those goals. Now, what's been happening here in my office, I end up going over a number of lab results on various patients of mine, and I have to, and I do this a lot, folks, I have to say that I've been very sorry. Over many years now, as I've noticed people with their carbohydrate issues, and in particular using a lab called a hemoglobin A1C, which truly is a measure of your proclivity to developing diabetes. It shows it approaching. It shows when you've crossed the line. And I've had that opportunity so many times to see people coming right up to the line, and I say to them, look, you need to get a hold of your carbohydrate issues, because if you don't, it won't be too much long before you've crossed the line. You will become a full-blown diabetic. Now, as many times as I've said that, it takes a very special person to just walk out and do what they need to do. And I'm apologizing because that's the very person that needs this additional help, needs the additional coaching, and I think tailor-made to become involved with the TLS program. On Monday, we're going to have two guests with us. We're going to have the gal who's going to be teaching that program here in the South Hills. It's going to be held at Dr. Tyson Swiger's office. He's a chiropractor right at the South Point exit of 79 each and every Saturday. Patricia Szymanski is the young lady from Johnstown, Windber, Pennsylvania, who will be on the show to talk specifically about the TLS program, what it is. And because it's literally going to be held at Dr. Tyson Swiger's office, I'd like to get his input on how he feels about the program. We're going to do that all on Monday. So if you think you need some help, we got 25 total slots available. I've sort of taken 12. Dr. Swiger's taken 12, and we'll probably flip for the additional slot that's left. But if you think you'd like to become involved with it, give us a call at 724-942-3002 so we can reserve one of the slots for you, and this opportunity doesn't pass you by. I will say that what we intend to do is not just to have a one-time and done forever, never to return again. No, I think this is going to be held quarterly because as long as I've been doing the work I have, a group of new individuals keep surfacing as months go by, as weeks go by, and so I know that as long as that program is available, I think I'll be able to guide a lot of folks into it so as to get their carbohydrate issues under control, to get the threat of diabetes that's looming over top of them off of the board, off of their particular health consequences, and do a much better job than just saying, as I've done in the past, oh, hey, you need to get a hold of those carbohydrate issues. I think that's a shallow comment. These folks need much more help, and the TLS program will explain it on Monday. You'll want to listen, and if it's something that tickles your fancy, I've got, of my 12 slots, I have 8 of them filled right now. So I mean, I got 4 more left, maybe when I flipper 5. If you want to be involved, call us up, 724-942-3002. So that's our Monday show. Looking, because next Monday, by the way, and I have to be honest, remember me counting backwards in August? You know, this is the school month, return to school. So my count is, what is it, 1, 2, 3. My count is 3 on Monday morning. 2 remaining young lovelies, they've returned to their high school experience, and they need to get back to school, folks. So Monday's a big day for 2 reasons. 1, I'll bring the TLS program to you, and the 2 young lovelies do return to high school. Now, we're in the last week of August. I'm looking into September. Let me give you an idea of what is up and coming for the month of September. Susie Weiss is going to be our guest on the 8th of September. That's a Monday. And she's going to be here because on the 11th of September, which is Thursday, she's offering her free seminar on essential oils. What they're all about, how to use them, where to get them. The company that she represents is called Young Living. It is a top shelf company when it comes to the purity of the products that are being used. Susie Weiss, our guest on the 8th, will be here on the 11th. By the way, for those of you who are interested and know it already, you can give us a call and reserve a seat for yourself. It's a free seminar going to be held here at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 11th. Call us up at 724-942-3002, and we will reserve a seat for you. It's usually about a 2-hour experience, so by noon you should be out and back on the road to go home. On the 10th, Dr. Boom herself will be back. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, looking forward to her. Then, folks, I hope you caught the show we did on Monday with one of the most brilliant doctors I've had the opportunity to meet in my lifetime. His name was Dr. Jerry Tennant. I can't really meet a patient since that time, because so many of you do listen to the programs here, that just said to me, that man is so smart. I really enjoyed him, and I promised him that I would get him back. So what I can tell you now, and I did reveal it the other day on Wednesday, Dr. Jerry Tennant will be returning to our airways on our radio show. He'll be with us on the 15th of September for Healing is Voltage Part 2. That's Healing is Voltage Part 2. To hit the correction side, he was very elaborate with describing how disease occurs and how it interferes with this electrical wiring you have, and putting it in electrical terms, which is what he needed to do. Don't forget his experience was as a accomplished, and I mean an accomplished ophthalmologist, literally performing some of the first LASIK surgery and intraocular lens implant surgery. The man has been a pioneer and a go-to by governmental agencies for many, many years. But as he described to us, during these laser LASIK surgeries, the tissue in the eye that was being bombarded with the laser was vaporizing with the intense heat that comes off of the laser, but the viruses that were embedded in the eye tissue didn't vaporize and die. They were vaporized and became alive. And literally he inhaled these vapors containing those viruses right through his mask and right into his brain. The man suffered from encephalitis for 6 years and was bedridden 16 hours a day because of it. He described that to get back onto his feet, what he had to do was he had to He had 2 hours where he was lucid enough to read or do whatever he needed to do, and said, I better figure out a way to treat me because nobody else is going to help. And that's when he moved into describing the body and how it goes awry. Put in electrical terms, he literally means that healing is voltage, and as he describes the circuitry of the body and how you determine how it can go kaflooey, on the 15th, he's going to be talking about how you put this thing back and have it working all over again. That's my best Dr. Jerry Tennant resume in terms of what we did Monday and what we're going to do on the 15th. I'm really looking forward to having him back, Dr. Jerry Tennant. Healing is Voltage, Part 2. And we'll let it go at that. As other events comes up and other individuals come up, I'll be sure to let you know. Let's do this. Let's take a short break. And when we come back, we'll open it up to you again. We're in the gun lap. We're coming around that final corner. If you want to get in here by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll listen for that knock on the door. Be right back. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Here we are on a Friday morning version of the show. It is a get 'em up out of town version of the show. We let you come on in here and set the agenda as you see it. Dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I will listen for that knock on the door, and I will let you in the store. Before I just jump over and move into the AI programs that are coming up, just want to say, I don't know if you picked up on it, but what Dr. Tennant finally did, if you didn't pick up on it, let me try to refresh your memory. If you're talking about electricity as through the body, as he does, obviously there have to be circuits that this energy, this electricity must flow through. And this is now evolved into making what has been a nebulous point an amorphous point. We're talking about the acupuncture meridians, where this thing called chi. And we've sort of been amazed at how energy flows through the body and how this chi works to try to get into balance. And then, but by talking in those lofty terms, it was difficult to see how that knowledge could be intervened upon to get you better. But Tennant blew that concept completely apart when he was the first one to put the actual circuitry together in such a clear fashion. If you listen to him talk about his own particular case. He had a big toe that was really sore. He had a spleen that was really enlarged, and he had encephalitis to the point that he was bedridden 16 hours a day. Now, I don't know of another doctor on this good earth that could put together a big toe, a spleen, and a brain problem and say, oh, with clarity and with lucidity, oh, well, see, what we got wrong here is this, and be so definitive about it. The person that did that was Jerry Tennant. Because the aha moment, I asked him this on the air, the aha moment of Dr. Tennant's experience was when he found that the circuitry that did connect, and there is a circuit that connects the foot to the spleen, to the brain, happens to pass through tooth number 14 in Dr. Tennant's mouth, which was root canaled a number of years previously. When he finally put that together, the aha moment struck him that the circuitry went kaflooey. Okay, yeah, he inhaled the stuff from the surgeries, but that circuitry went kaflooey because of the root canal tooth at tooth number 14. This has given us a whole new perspective on how to go after seemingly unrelated items. Now, who would have ever tried to put together a big toe, a spleen, and a brain, and had the highway go right through tooth number 14, the tooth that happened to be root canal? That, I believe, is the beauty of the Tennant approach, because with such clarity, you can detect and determine the disease process that you may be afflicted with by starting to put things together that never have been put together before. So you want to pay attention. You want to be able to listen to Dr. Tennant, who, yes, I guess he used himself as his own experiment. But what an experiment. And to have won and conquered it once he decided that that circuit had to be put back together. How was he going to do it? Maybe he didn't know, but he figured it out. That's Dr. Jerry Tennant for you. Enough said about the man, but I thought I wanted to bring to your attention that aha moment. The thing about the circuits that we haven't been able to use, even though we could say, oh, the Oriental medicine forms and acupuncture and all that, how wonderful that is. A lot clearer now that Dr. Tennant has stepped in with his circuitry. Hey, we're going to have the knock on the door. Come on, the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't we mysteriously made?
Yeah.
I love that connection. You're connecting the dots with the big toe and the spleen and the brain.
Yep.
No, it is quite amazing. Although, what I really want to, it's part of this scenario. But don't you think that if you have a viral infection, and that's all they talk about, the regular media right now is talking about viruses almost on a daily basis ad nauseum, but particularly about the Ebola, and what's your comment on just doing vitamin C drips, pretty much for the MRSAs and the Ebolas and the viral infections, the encephalitis. Wouldn't you think that would be a reasonable approach?
Well, I think and in keeping with just having finished the Dr. Tennant discussion, every single one of those, the big toe, the spleen, and the encephalitis, up till now has been dealt with on the individual basis. That, hey, we got a virus. We kicked the virus by utilizing vitamin C. We don't obviously use any antibiotics because they don't work. And so you sort of put it on your checklist and you go, okay, we're going to attack the encephalitis, and here's how we're going to do it. Then, by the way, the spleen. It was easily described what was wrong with his spleen. You see, his platelets were being lodged in his spleen so much, his platelet count had dropped to 30,000. And which the normal is supposed to be about 150,000. It dropped to 30,000, and so the explanation for it be, well, the platelets are being enlarged, we'll have to take the spleen out. That's how that would have been dealt with. And some, I don't know, myotherapist, the chiropractor would have dealt with his big toe. 3 things would have been dealt with individually and not with any continuity. But with putting the whole picture together and having that doggone root canal tooth on the circuit, it unified all 3. All it needed to do was to take care of the tooth, and he didn't do anything else. Everything else got better by the fact that the 3 were united pathologies. That is, I believe, the aha moment that we all would be searching for. So I'm now, I'm actually, I asked, I will reveal to you, I'm in contact with Dr. Tennant's assistant. Her name is Deborah McDowell, and it looks like my education with Dr. Tennant will begin on December 4th. I'll be talking more about it as time goes on, but I can't let this one drop. I got to jump in. I'm all in. I'm up to my neck already. We might as well get the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Another interesting thing that might take, now that you brought up the voltage situation, when you might inform your listeners, I don't know exactly how you would go about it, but when you take an antioxidant, you're pretty much taking an electron donor. And that's voltage. I mean, you measure that in millivolts. And so when you take the vitamin C and you take the CoQ10 and the E and so on and so forth, you're introducing electron concentrations, and they're all mediated through a different carrier and maybe have different targets. But that's the way I look at it, getting as many electrons as you can, inside your system to counteract God knows what.
Yeah, and of course the original and opening concept of any Dr. Tennant lecture happened to do with the relationship. I think his first relationship that he made was taking a look at pH, which was a concept that everybody in medicine appreciates, and applying the electrical concepts that correlate to it. And of course, what we find out is negative voltage, he said, is negative 400 millivolts was what the equivalency of was to a solution that had a pH of 14, and positive 400 millivolts if you had a pH of 0, and if you had a pH of 7, you had a complete absence of any donors, electron donors, or stealers. And
well, you could have a balance between the two. In other words, you could have the positive negating the negative, and you'll be at a null point.
Well, I'm going to say that I listen intently, and I've heard many of the lectures that he gives. By the way, I'd encourage anybody who wants to get more information on this, head to YouTube and just punch in Dr. Jerry Tennant. You will be
going to do that. No, he brought up some very interesting.
Oh, the man! Oh, yeah. Just listen to his lectures on the YouTube, and there'll be more on this subject.
Tell me, have you had a chance to look at his what is it, a biomodulator?
Oh, I've watched him use it. In fact, many of the YouTube presentations that you'll see him will be in front of an audience. He steps up, and in the course of 45 minutes, he's got people with chronic problems. Most of them were pain problems.
Yeah.
He resolves them in seconds. With a little gizmo, it looks like a garage door opener. Okay, I mean, you hold it in your hand, you swear, is somebody's garage door going to open with this thing? And here he is. He's clicking away at it, and I'll have him discuss the biomodulator more. But whenever you take his training courses, you walk out with the biomodulator, and you're able to use it too. So more on this subject, but that's how he moves electricity around, restores energies, and gets
sounds like a Star Trek tricorder.
He invented the doggone machine, and he's perfected it. So yes, there's a way to get this all resolved with the biomodulator. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Hey, we're coming right up to the gong here, folks. Cut time with one more. Hey, knock on the door if you want. 412-825-6262. Had to bring that up about the Dr. Jerry Tennant. I mean, come on. Big toe, spleen, brain. Oh, it passes through the meridian of my tooth number 14 where it's been root canaled. Oh, this is easy. We'll repair the root canal. We'll pull the tooth. Oh, crazy. All right, folks, by the way, you know we're involved with the eye treatment program here, the Dr. Ed Conrad 3-day treatment program. We just finished one program the other day. The next one we're going to hold will be held in September. The dates are September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. If you suffer from the big four, macular degeneration, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, and cataracts, you're going to want to find out more to get those conditions reversed. 3 of the 4, the retinal ones, the MACD, the glaucoma, and the diabetic retinopathy, you're going nowhere with those with respect to the conventional world because there is no treatment. Cataracts, there is actually a treatment for surgically removing the lens, but you better think that one over. There's so much information. By the way, Dr. Blaylock came out with it. I'll try to pass it on to you. The relationship between those that get the cataract surgery and a whole bunch of problems. The statistical information is, don't do that. Don't be quick to get that lens put in there because you are going to have a heap of problems afterwards. All right. The ball is in the background signaling our time out here. I want you to have a wonderful weekend. Be with us on Monday. It'll be Patricia Szymanski and Dr. Sweisen-Taggart. We launch TLS. We'll see you then. Bye now.